Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bengals franchise. Welcome back to it. We're in episode 19. We've jumped ahead a little bit here. Looking over the standings here, we are in the final week of the season. The Broncos and Raiders are the only AFC teams to have clinched playoff spots here. The Broncos have, not clinched the top spot here, but they could potentially with a win here. But the Raiders are already locked in, and so are the Broncos. The AFC West is still up for grabs, as well as the AFC Central. As you see, us and the Jaguars are both tied at 10-5. With the Patriots, Jets, and Colts kind of rounding out the bottom here, hovering around 500, with potentially the AFC East still being kind of up for grabs here. It's kind of anyone's game between that division. And there you saw the Titans are still kind of in it too. I don't think they can really clinch the division. They might be able to get a wild card spot possibly. I'm not sure. But we are heading into the last game of the season against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So in the last video, we covered the Browns game and kind of wrapped our way into the last few weeks of the season. I know when I recorded these forever ago, I didn't do the best on highlighting when I was simming games and when I wasn't. So I know we've kind of jumped around pretty drastically throughout this final season, or not final season, but through the final stretch of games in this season in year 3. But the story so far, as it is we are on pace or in play here for the AFC Central, and this game is essentially going to decide who wins it. So we're going to jump ahead here in our first offensive drive here on 2nd and 5. Achilles Smith dropping way back, and he finds Sharper, the rookie tight end, at midfield, who hauls it in, surrounded by Jaguars. He fortunately is able to come down with that one. Achilles Smith took quite a bit of time to make a decision on that throw. He just kept moving further and further back, trying to avoid the pressure here. But it is 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line for the Bengals offense. We're going to hand this one off to Corey Dillon, who shoots up the right side, has a good, nice little running lane that he finds, and is able to get about another 10 yards or so. But we need a few more inches here. Just a few inches short. We've all heard that one before. So 2nd and inches now for the Bengals offense. Achilles Smith is not going to hand it off. He's going to keep it himself. Clean pocket. Lets it rip. And it is batted and intercepted by Jacksonville. So it was, not really a clean pass. It was kind of contested, and Peter Warrick couldn't come down with it, and it was batted to the defender. He batted it to himself and was able to get the interception here. But 3rd and 8, our defense has already forced a 3rd down for Jacksonville here. They're kind of facing the end of this drive. Burnell's going for the home run ball, and we pick it off. So this one's going the other way now. So both teams are now exchanging turnovers here early on in this game. No damage has been done, and we may just be seeing a slogfest back and forth here. So we are unable to do anything with the football, so Jacksonville gets another chance. But Mark Burnell is going to be eating some grass, and that's Anderson, our rookie left end, getting into the backfield and getting to Mark Burnell. So on 2nd and 17 here, late in this first quarter, already we've burned through a quarter with no action really to speak of. Burnell standing essentially on the goal line, his own goal line, and rips it across the middle of the field, finds an open Jaguar receiver who's going to get brought down just shy of the 1st down marker. But that gets just about everything back here for Jacksonville. So on 3rd and inches, Burnell's going to go through the air again, and he finds another open man. It's a big boy, a big tight end, who takes about 4 Bengal defenders just to corral him, get him on the ground. Seem to have a problem tackling these days. I don't know what's up with that. So Jacksonville gets a humongous 1st down conversion here that's going to extend their drive. Jeez, just look how much bigger he is than our defenders, man. Gosh, that dude is on something, bro. Check his water bottle. But the first quarter is going to come to a close with no score to speak of. I'm glad we are home for this game, man. We're going to need all the advantage that we can get, because a home playoff game and a bye to the divisional round is really at play here with this division. But it doesn't matter. Taylor doesn't care what's on the line here, because he's going to score nonetheless. In a drive that started out so slow for Jacksonville, completely opens up as the seas part for Fred Taylor, and as he bursts into the secondary and gets the touchdown. So Jacksonville will take a 7-0 lead here in the first half. Now we fast forward late in the first half, and Achilles Smith uncorks this one and finds Horn deep downfield, who makes the catch and redirects upfield and is brought down by the 10-yard line. So now we need to answer back quickly here after an explosive play like that. We get one of our own. Now we just have to punch it into the end zone as the time is continuing to tick here. Just about a minute left to go, and again to Horn. Achilles Smith finds him, and that one is good for the touchdown. So pay attention to Horn, man. Horn and Dugans are going to be involved a lot more because Chris Waller, I believe, is still injured. He's still not playing, so we've lost a lot of Chris Waller in his first 2 seasons in the NFL to injury. He's been injured for a lot, and I think this one's a lot more significant than last year's was because he at least finished last year on that Super Bowl run. So pay attention to that because we're going to get a lot of help from receiver 3 and 4 on the depth chart, which we don't have a terrible receiving core, but still, it's something important to note here as we're playing for what we're playing for. So Jacksonville's not going to take that one lying down, even though that was retaliation, but Mark Brunell's still uncorking deep balls downfield, and that one is caught, and so Jacksonville is now already cooking in Bengal territory late in this first half, and again he uncorks another monster ball to the right side of the field, and in double coverage, Barlow could not come down with that football. So 46 seconds left to go here. It is 2nd and 10 for the Jaguar offense. We need to watch for that run game if they decide to run. Brunell, under a little bit of pressure, gets it out to the fullback, and that is a good, clean tackle in open space made to stop the fullback from getting out of bounds here and stopping the clock potentially. So on a 3rd down, they're going to go with the ground game, and he does not get the first down. So the clock is going to continue to run here. Jacksonville's going to burn it all the way down and bring out the field goal unit to try and take a lead here late in the first half. Just going to let all that time tick away. They don't even want to give us the football back. And so the kick is up, and it is nowhere close to good. A horrendous kick from Jacksonville's kicking squad is going to keep the score tied and knot it up heading into the locker room at halftime. Just one touchdown is all either offense can really muster here in the first half of play. So this one, I can already tell, is probably going to come down to the wire. It's going to be an absolute nail-biter, and I hate the nail-biters. I want a definitive win. Why can't the Bengals just win one definitively? I built this team to be explosive on offense, and they've been anything but in this second half of the season. It's been rough. Even though the overall record is looking a lot better than it did last year, it's still pretty rough. So a 3rd down situation for the Jacksonville in our territory here. We need to come up big, watch for that ground game. We know Fred Taylor is explosive here, but they're going to try and go through the air, and it's an awkward throw off the back leg here. Brunell really didn't give a whole lot of time for that play to develop, so bring out the kicking unit again, and I think this kick is even further back than the first one was, and the first one didn't have a prayer, but this one is nailed. So a 54-yarder. Mike Hollis nails. I think he might have had another yard or so. So I don't know what happened on that first kick, but that was just an absolute joke. So Jacksonville does manage to take a 3-point lead over us, and there's Fred Taylor getting busy yet again. He cannot find any open space, but he does get brought down by the marker. It's still a considerable pickup for this ground game for Jacksonville here, as it's 2nd and 1 now late in this 3rd quarter. And Brunell's going to drop back and pressure immediately in his face, but he's able to get rid of that one. I think that's Rod Smith who hauls that one in and is brought down in Cincinnati territory. So you see this. Look at that, bro. Just immediately the pressure's in there. I think it was Ross, the linebacker, who just kind of found his way through the line and got straight to Brunell. But Brunell was quick on his feet, man. That's why he's a Pro Bowl quarterback, because he can get rid of him like that. Fred Taylor shaking off some tackles now and getting brought down by the marker again. 71 yards, man. I wish Corey Dillon was doing stuff like that. When's the last time you saw him in this game? You probably haven't, and there's a good reason for that. Yeah, so the 3rd quarter is going to come to a close. Jacksonville's field goal is the only deciding factor here in 3 quarters of play. So it's all going to come down to this, man, down to the wire, as Fred Taylor picks up another first down for this Jacksonville offense, and the Jaguars are going to continue rolling. So 1st and 10 now. Brunell's going to go with Fred Taylor on the ground again, and this time there is nowhere to run, no room for Mr. Taylor, who's having another Pro Bowl season. So on 2nd and 9, they're going to continue with Fred Taylor as he staggers into Takeo Spikes and then gets picked up. I think Booker, our big defensive tackle. Or no, that might have been Ilko, our rookie from last year, who made the tackle. So on 3rd and 5 for Jacksonville, Brunell's going to try and send this one through the air, and it works out perfectly as he finds that massive tight end again, who's behind all the defenders, and he's not very fast, but he had more than enough space to get into the end zone as our defense tried to catch up, and that's going to be another Jacksonville touchdown. So here we find ourselves in a rough spot, man. We're playing for the division at home in front of a packed-out stadium, and we are absolutely folding yet again. Every video, every gameplay that we've watched so far this season has just been an absolute undoing of our team in every aspect, man. I don't know what's going to stop it. I'm praying for it to stop, but I mean, there's still a chance here. It's only a 10-point game, so we need to step up here, and we're moving good, at least so far, somewhat, a little bit, and boom, there you go. You got nameless receivers now. That's how deep we are on this team, thanks to a few injuries. But fortunately, a big man that we do know and call out a lot, Peter Warrick, comes up with a massive reception that gets us another first down here in Jacksonville territory. So we haven't completely stagnated here, but I need a lot more from Achilles Smith, and I need a lot more from Corey Dillon. That's what I'm saying in my executive suite as I watch this game, as I stare down the field and watch this game. So on 1st and 10, now the pressure is on Achilles Smith, and he gets absolutely gobbled up by both edge rushers. They just completely collapsed the pocket, man, and Achilles Smith backed way up into both of them. Like, it was just like a math equation, like a graph, just the way it all kind of worked out perfectly. He was like the vertex point, just getting absolute converged on here. So 2nd and 18, Achilles Smith's going to go for a humongous deep ball to Thorne downfield, and he hauls it in, surrounded by Jaguars. It doesn't matter. He makes the catch, and I'm saying Thorne, it's Horn. But he makes the catch here, and he has been absolutely the light of our offense so far this game here, as Achilles Smith is trying to do the ugliest pass he could possibly do to Ron Dugans, and fortunately that one just hits the ground and is not picked off. So 2nd and 10 now, deep in Jacksonville territory. Smith again through the air, and he finds Horn again, who gets into the end zone for the touchdown. And man, he is having an MVP caliber game. Jeez, man, we are just putting it all on him. I mean, maybe that's a good game plan. Maybe Jacksonville came in expecting the Peter Warrick stuff. Maybe they were scheming on Corey Dillon, and boom, we just whipped Horn out on you. Whipped out the horns, baby. Let me get my horns. But we are going to have to go for the onside kick here just to give ourselves a prayer at maybe tying this game. As we are now down by 3 points, 14-17, but we do not come up with it here. But there's still a considerable amount of time that Jacksonville is going to have to burn if they want to win this game here, and Fred Taylor is going to be dangerous in this type of scenario, man. You see that, man. He's already got 80 yards on the day with 7.2 averaging on a carry. So on just a couple plays, he could easily get this first down, and that's exactly what Jackson was going to try to do. He gets gobbled up in a whole mess of players and is fortunately brought down as Jacksonville gets so much closer to that all-encompassing 100-yard rushing day just across the board. But Brunell's going to try and go through the air on 3rd and 2. Maybe they were trying to go for the win, potentially, just kind of put this one away, because they are deep in our territory. So if they could get a first down or so, they could easily just put this game away. But they're going to take the 3 points here and see if maybe that lead will hold. A 20-14 lead could potentially hold. So 1 minute and 16 seconds is all we have to do. What can Achilles Smith do as he finds Sharper a dangerous pass? And I think Sharper dropped that one. Just kind of lit up here. It was a dangerous ball for Achilles Smith to try and throw, and I'm not surprised Sharper didn't hang on to it. So on 2nd and 10, Smith going out to the flat and just barely misses the linebacker who was standing perfectly in position. I don't think the linebacker was fully ready for it, because that easily could have been picked off, but it goes over his head, and Corey Dillon manages to catch it and get up past the stick. So a potentially disastrous play turns into a net positive play for us, as we now reset things here, running the hurry up here, and Achilles Smith is going to go for the spike. So we are at midfield here. We only got half the field to go, but we need to get into the end zone as pressure comes off the edge, and Achilles Smith gets rid of it and finds Ron Dugans across the middle for a not so substantial pickup here, but it'll get us closer to the sticks as it is 3rd and 2 with 40 seconds and some change left to go. Achilles Smith again rocketing off another quick shot. I couldn't see what receiver that was, but it's another first down here as the clock is continuing to run. Of course, timeouts not a thing here from Jacksonville trying to burn the clock. So Achilles Smith is going to have to be pretty smart here with his decision making and pretty quick with it, as we are now under 30 seconds left to go in the game in the 4th quarter. So coming out in the eye, Smith is going to drop back. Jacksonville is sending a good bit of pressure here. Smith's got plenty of time though to make a decision as he goes for a home run ball to Peter Warrick, who just maybe by an inch misses it. Tried to go for that one-armed grab that he famously does, that every receiver in this game famously does. It's like its favorite animation, but they cannot connect. So on 3rd and 10 now in shotgun formation with 22 seconds left to go. The division is on the line. Achilles Smith rolling out of the pocket and off his back foot floats this one out here to Horn, who gets absolutely blown up. And that is why you don't throw balls like that. No, it is not your bad. It is Achilles Smith's bad. That was a terrible throw to try and make. Just absolutely putting his receiver in danger. So on 4th and 10, 17 seconds, we are putting the entire division on this play as it pays off, and we find Sharper across the middle of the field, and he's got the catch and a first down. So 1st and 10, 12 seconds left to go. Can we get into the end zone for the win? Achilles Smith finds Sharper again in the end zone, and it's a touchdown. Oh, can you believe it? Can you believe it? A meteoric drive here that started out so slow and just a slow burn, and Sharper on 2 massive receptions on back-to-back plays just manages to put us at least in a tying situation. Of course, we need to bring out John Green to nail the go-ahead PAT, which, obviously he's probably going to nail. So we claw our way back from a 17-7 deficit and now find ourselves in a position to win the AFC Central here. But Jacksonville's got one more attempt. 3 seconds left to go. Burnell dropping back. We are in prevent. No one's going for Burnell as he floats across the middle of the field, and it is a huge reception, but it is not going to get anywhere close to the end zone as the clock hits triple zeros, and your Cincinnati Bengals are AFC Central champions, baby. That is going to do it for this season, for this game. Well, I mean, not the season. We obviously still have playoffs to do here. I didn't even really do a point of mentioning that, but obviously, if we didn't win this game, I think we were still probably not a lock. I mean, because obviously we didn't clinch, but we are still a pretty good chance, had a good chance of making it to the playoffs, regardless of whether we won this game or not. Because I believe that just the way that the records fall in the AFC, I think every team that was in like seeds like 4 through 7 would have to have won in order to knock out whoever loses this game. But we will take a look at the playoff standings and see just exactly how true that is and how correct I am. So looking over these stats here, the game is pretty even for the most part, even though Jacksonville led for most of it. I don't think we were ever really officially out of it, which is crazy to say because we were down by 2 possessions at a point very late in this ball game, but we were able to crawl back. No quit in this team. Akil Smith actually has a pretty decent game. I'm not too mad about it. Corey Dillon does absolutely nothing. Surprise, surprise. Horn is obviously our best receiver here with 2 touchdowns through the air. You love to see it. And then here's the defensive breakdown. Remember, we exchanged some INTs earlier in the game here, but obviously the real meat here is the standings, so we're going to get right into that and show you guys exactly how things pan out. So the Broncos take the top seed in the AFC, finishing 13-3 in the regular season. The Raiders sit behind them. They would technically be, I think, the first wild card since they're in the West. We clinch the Central Division, so it would be technically the second seed, I think, and then the Patriots win the AFC East at 9-7. So that means the Jaguars, Raiders, and the Jets are going to be your 3, I guess, wild card or outside teams. So I don't know how this game does the seeding and stuff. Someone pointed out in a comment about something weird about that earlier, so it's weird. But the Packers take the top seed in the NFC at 11-5. The Cowboys come in at 10-6, winning the East, and then the Rams win the West at 9-7. The Packers win the NFC Central, and then the Bears, 49ers, and Lions are falling behind them. So here is a look at Wild Card Weekend. We have already sent through it since we don't have a game in the Wild Card. The Raiders beat the Jets. The Lions beat the Rams on the road. The Jaguars beat the Patriots, and then the Bears beat the Niners. So here's the divisional round. Jacksonville is going to travel up to Denver to play the Broncos. The Lions are going to Lambeau to play the Packers in the divisional round. The Raiders are visiting us in Cincy, and then the Bears are traveling to Dallas to play the Cowboys. So this is our playoff matchup here. So when we get into the next video, baby, it is time for our first home playoff game as division champions. This is really what I want after winning the Super Bowl, so we've kind of accomplished all my goals here. But I hope to see you guys in the next video in Cincy for our first home playoff game in forever.